I should be live. Wait, let me. What is all this? I swear they just leave a lot of these. Well, Ben Shapiro is sort of evolving. Yeah, I don't think Donald Trump is evolving to this. Uh, where even are these coming from? This has to be from a like long ago type shit. Oh yeah, I see what this is. Reacting to yeah, I guess this sorta is that because yeah, today we're talking about like Ana Kasparian and her tweets. Now you might have seen this video. This video is really like talking about this video, and it's like yeah, Ana Kasparian really fucked up. And I'm not talking about her just putting up that tweet, like that was just her being an attention whore. Like that's not new. But the way she responded when genuine people who were on her side, like Mike Figueredo and David Dole from the Rational National, when
lack
they
of
tried
motivation.
to explain to her,
Hi, I'm John Gizzi,
like,
president of Precise Tool Manufacturing. Our entire shop has about 200,000 square.
it's like, yeah, Ana Kasparian, she's absolutely just contradictory in every way, and that's because she doesn't have a core ideology. Like, when are people going to start realizing this? Like, Ana Kasparian doesn't care about all y'all. She doesn't care about the trans movement. That's why she almost never talks about it. She just cares about, oh, these poor black people. Oh, look, like, she always Archer and Cougar, they're always gonna try bringing it back to race when it's like well, put yourself back in place. I say this all the time. How many times are you going to hear over the past decade? Do you think you're going to hear on on any fucking platform, any mainstream media platform, a host just slandering all black people is just fucking pedophiles? Like, how often? No, they just do that to trans people. So black people marginalized? I don't think so. Having a bigger dick, yeah, that sucks. But like, other than that, other than maybe not being able to hide boners as easily, that's really all black people have to worry about. But Ana Kasparian would want to make them the victim of pretty much everything because that's just more clickbaity. So like I think what this exposes more than anything is the fact that they're full-fledged just populist on everything. Doesn't care if it's right or wrong. They're only populist. And the funny thing is, Mike Figueredo showed a clip in there. I'm just gonna go straight to that because it's just too good. And it shows this is what he's complaining about. The fact that she used to have a completely different opinion. And she's not even denouncing her old opinion. She's just pretending it's not there pretty much. And it's like, yeah, those are two completely conflicting opinions. And now she's just turning around and going on the other. And it's like, yeah, that's what you get when you're just going with polls. Like, as the Humanist Report is going to mention, she only is, she's only defending this with polls. Now, I don't care who might have gone, like, offended. I mean, like, honestly, you get offended by Anna saying that. You get offended by, like, the people responding to Anna and getting it's like, fucking, dude, it's fucking Minecraft and Twitter and you, it's like, nobody cares if you get offended on all that shit, right? But I think it's fair to point out just how entitled she like her replies were to people who were her friends. And like I don't know if I'm gonna watch this entire video. I didn't watch the leftist mafia covering this yet. But like yeah, yesterday I was high as fuck. I legit like reacted to this video as I went. All these replies are from me. Yep, that's pretty sad, right? That's what I do when I'm high, so yeah. I'm not even kidding, I actually did that. I wonder what these 4 notifications are. Anyway, let me see. My live stream 0 views. Yeah, sort of what I expected. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get a single view from this. This is not something very clickbaity, but it could just I could just add TYT to that. And then I could just, I think it might be in there already. Add TYT to that. Oh, wow. Hey. Okay, boys. Do we have some? Oh, wait. Dude, Chen Cougar is very much involved in this. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. Okay, account suspended. That's not really relevant. Okay. Hopefully now I start getting 0.5 views instead of fucking 0. But let's see this clip right here.
Women, and you know, she even referenced that video that I shared with her on the show that day when
Yeah, and by the way, Mike Figueredo, as far as I've heard, didn't even allow her to do that. Like, Mike Figueredo sent her a video in private, and it wasn't even to hypocrisy roast her, as he mentioned, which, yeah, I think it's pretty fair, but, I mean, it hurts me because people like the Humanist Report, this is a really good person, and Anna really doesn't deserve to have friends like this. Like, she doesn't. And it's like, I wish the Humanist Report could just see this shit. Like, dude, this isn't the first time, dog. Like, I've been pointing this out. She's been cloud chasing. Like, she didn't do that because she cares about any issue. Like, she just, is what you would call an entitled white lady. I just call it, being an entitled bitch. I think that's better, but, yeah, she's just a whiny snowflake bitch who just likes to cry and get attention. And yeah, there's a reason why she went on to Ben Shapiro and pandered to him, pretended to be a nationalist on his show, just to pander to him. There's a reason why everything in this whole fucking compilation exists. Wait. Let me... I might want to refer back to some of these timestamps. Like, that looks so artistic, but I might want to do that. And also I have 90 subscribers and I'm not gonna get a single view. That's so sad, so... yeah, and then she criticized Tucker, but, let's see all this.
If you took a low-paying job, well, that was a stupid decision. Why don't you take a higher-paying job? That's a you problem.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Ben Shapiro and who he is. Ben Shapiro forgot
Yeah,
that he's
and
a
then they're
talentless...
sucking this guy off.
And I mean that in every sense of the word. I get it. He speaks quickly, and it's easy to trick people into thinking you're smart when you speak quickly. But if you listen to the substance of what he's saying, it is easily debunkable, and we're going to debunk it today.
I bet if she ever saw him at Politicon, she would say the exact opposite of that, in fact.
So, you know, Ben is known for being sharp, being able to defend his viewpoints without engaging in personal attacks. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation with Ben.
I get it.
Like, she absolutely just sucked him off. Like, at every point in time where she went on to a show, she just sucked him off. And I hate this shit because it's sort of like, you know, when, like, I was fucking retarded and everybody was just being polite to me in school. Like, yeah, we're glad to have you around, but then, like, you know, I wouldn't get invited to anything because I'm fucking retarded and people don't really like having my presence. Like, they were doing it because polite. You sort of have to do that shit. Ana Kasparian was doing that to Ben Shapiro for views and clicks. Pretending to like him when she fucking can't stand him. If that's even true, because she lies so much, at this point we don't even fucking know what she thinks.
Quickly, and it's easy to...
Yes, like, then she criticized Tucker Carlson for privately having a bad opinion of Trump, when, like, you absolutely have to love Trump if you're in the Republican Party. Like, that's not an option, dog. That's not an option. Like, I am not going to get far in the Republican Party. I'm not going to get to 1 million subs with this. At least not anytime soon. But yeah, Ana Kasparian, you don't even have to go and leak her privacy, any of that shit, to see that she's a lying fucking retard. Like, she legit, goes publicly to just contradict herself. Like, she doesn't even give a shit.
Trick people into thinking you're smart when you speak quickly, but if you listen to the substance of what he's saying, it is easily debunkable, and we're going to debunk it today. But before I get to that, remember, Ben Shapiro is a very well-paid puppet for the right wing, right? They found him. They realized, hey, you know what? He would be a great mouthpiece for what we want.
For Democrats, stop focusing on scaring people about the scary right-wing candidates and offer them real solutions that you're going to fight for. I think that's the only long-lasting winning strategy for Democrats. Are they going to do it? No, because they're captured by the money.
I think. Yeah, it's like she went on Ben Shapiro to say all this. It's like, no, that's how she talks about Democrats on Ben Shapiro. And then she's gonna just go around on her show, and she's going to do that, but to Republicans instead of to Democrats. It's like, she legit just goes on Ben Shapiro's show to pander about, like, how Democrat bad. It's like
disagreements
this
on
bitch
policy,
is unbelievable.
disagreements on culture, but
Let
it
me
doesn't
go get some
necessarily
more
mean that you're
water. Dude, because I smoke that shit so much, and then I need some water. Anyway. Fucking epic, dude.
you're an awful person. It doesn't mean that I should be afraid of you.
Because rather than focusing on the actual solutions to prevent this from happening, you provide cover for the bad guys. Ben Shapiro always provides cover for the bad guys. Look, I think that it's easy to develop this sense of entitlement and think highly of yourself when you are making a lot of money, because Americans can't be bothered to read anything. But he gets paid a ton of money simply to give speeches on college.
Trying to make a little extra money. Some shit. There's no problem with her reason to start working at TYT. Like, I wouldn't be a bitch and but thing is, anytime any right-winger, even just as much as gets paid for what they do, which it's their job, just like this is your job, you go like, oh, well, you're just doing it for money. Dude, you do your job for fucking money. The fuck? People do their job for money, okay, well, do they have a good incentive behind their job? Like, do they have good motivations? Like, you can't just be like, motherfucker, you do this for money, you do this for money. Ben Shapiro, who I say is genuine, well, right here, nobody listened to that, so I'm just gonna say he does it for money. It's like, she's unbelievable. I don't see how, like, dude, she has friends who she does not deserve.
Open-minded, and I said, look, money's money, I gotta make a little so I can go to Europe, so sure, why not?
Now, some might argue, well, his talent is the reason why he gets invited to these college campuses. Except you forget that the right wing has this very well-oiled machine for propaganda. And so they all work together.
It's just really, really important in a functioning democracy to have Americans see one another as fellow Americans, as opposed to...
Americans should see one another as fellow Americans. Now, she wouldn't talk like that on TYT because that's pretty nationalist-leaning language. Like, Anna just does that. Like, when she's trying to pander to the right-wingers. It's like, no, don't see one another as fellow human beings. And it's like, I don't care about all that shit. Like, you want a virtue signal, but, like, this person, it's like, you're going to do that shit, then you're gonna accuse others of doing less bad. Like Tucker Carlson, what he did was disliking Trump privately when you have to love Trump. That's way less bad than you just pandering to them, pretending to care about someone and to respect them when you have no respect for them. Clearly, you aren't even scared to say that publicly. It's like, yeah, the right has this well-oiled machine for propaganda. Like, that's not at all her opinion on Ben Shapiro.
Identity that needs to be super combative with a different identity.
And these Republican groups.
And yeah, just so we remind you, any left-winger who's not abiding by her thing right there, which she also contradicts on her show. Oh well, they're just out for the money. That's why they're just gonna bash these right-wingers. Which she does more than anything, including Ben Shapiro.
Speakers onto these college campuses, and he gets paid minimum $50,000 per speech. And then he turns around and points to the average American and blames them for their economic instability. But hey, those are pesky things called facts. And when you get to manufacture culture wars that somehow give you political power because Americans can't be bothered to read anything, this is what you're gonna do. This is what they peddle, Jank.
Anna got hired because of her sweet, sweet rack.
I don't even know what the fuck that means. I had to look it up, but like tits. I'm not really into tits fucking anyway, but yeah, she's an asshole. She's just a complete fucking asshole. Like Mike Figueredo. You gotta find some better friends, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This happened.
But I understand the importance of inclusive language. I just don't like to be boiled down to a body part. So Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report reminded me of a video we did a few years ago where we were defending someone who used the phrase people with the capacity for pregnancy in the context of the abortion debate, I believe it was. I'm totally fine with that. I think that's totally fine. If that's what they want to use in a medical setting, great.
Dude, that is the only place where they use that. Like, Ana Kasparian is lying. She's a virtue signaler. That is the only place where she might ever have heard someone refer to her that way. Nobody else refers to her that way. And like, if people are doing that online or some shit, like, who the fuck cares? You're a grown-ass woman. You are going to get comments. Like, if you're not gonna disable comments, I mean, you're already anti-free speech, so you might as well do that. But you can't not only be anti-free speech, have the power to just remove that free speech that you're so against by just disabling your comments, and then whine about the fact that you have comments that are bad. It's like, which fucking one is it, dumbass? And I'm sure nobody does that. Like, she's just virtue signaling, and I'm sure people probably say far worse if they say that. But no, she hasn't heard that anywhere outside of a medical setting. Like, that's just not really a thing. Like, the only people who might do that, like, are Matt Walsh. And, like, yeah, Matt Walsh, that might be the only person who refers to women that way, just to keep making his talking point of, you know, this is a woman, trans people aren't women, they don't, but like, Matt Walsh, you're not friends with Matt Walsh, I don't think, and if you are, you're fucking retarded, but, I mean, those are, like, people around you are not gonna say that. Like, there is no way anybody says that outside of those settings. Nobody fucking says that. You're stupid. Like, you're just virtue signaling.
But for me, my personal preference is I don't like to be referred to, even in
My personal, like, she's just such an entitled bitch, snowflake. It's like, this is the internet. If you were whining about people in real life constantly referring to you that way, that'd be a different issue. But people in real life are definitely not doing that. Like, she's either bitching over comments online, which just makes her virtue signaling snowflake, and who cares, or she's talking about that happening in real life, in which case, I'm sorry that you're lying, and it's not the first time you're lying. It's like, no, we shouldn't take anything you say seriously because that's all you fucking do. And you don't even care that there's a video publicly showing like, I'm sorry, this is the hypocrisy, Boone. Like, why are you even bringing it up? You're not even going to try to debunk it.
In the context of an abortion debate, as a person with a uterus, person with the capacity for pregnancy, that's great. That's all I'm saying. I think my track record on transgender issues is pretty clear, and I hope you understand that I have.
Dude, thank fuck my track record is clear. Dude, you tend that fucking frame. You tend to pander towards the. I mean, yeah, be like. I definitely don't think there's any reason to associate with the right on trans issues. Like, I think there's every reason to associate with the right on stuff like racial issues, free speech issues, culture, like cancel culture. Yeah, all that stuff. Racism is bad, free speech is good, cancel culture bad. Yeah, I agree. And by the way, the problem with cancel culture is hate weapons. Like, when you have a cancel culture, the problem is that people start all going in mob mentality, and it doesn't matter what you reply to them. Like, these people do not care. Once you're on a hate wagon, once you're cancelled, it doesn't matter if you have good, valid arguments against people anymore. They don't care. They don't want to hear it. You saw it with vegan games. You saw it with top 10 videos. You saw it with who else? That vegan teacher. She got cancelled. What did she even do that was so outrageous? Nothing. She did nothing. Just so many fucking people who get for Keemstar. Like, look at Keemstar being cancelled. What the fuck did he do? Say the nigger word. It's like, motherfucker, the people who were cancelling him, Grady Andre and the Leafy, they say it. Fucking all of these people say that because it's a joke. Who cares? It's a word. Like, if you're an adult, dude, I'm getting really on a tangent, but
No disdain or hatred for the transgender community whatsoever. That's all.
And
yeah, no shit. No one's accusing you of that. That's the whole point of this video. Right
look,
here.
I agree that her record speaks for itself, but that's what also really bothered me so much. She knows better, right? You don't have to use that specific term, but why make a mountain out of a molehill when trans people are facing an onslaught of attacks and the threat of genocide? Like, why emphasize this seemingly out of nowhere?
Because she's an entitled bitch. When she cares about herself, she wants to bring the attention back to herself. It's like, you aren't like this, Mike. You really, and I know, like, it's not really like he can break from them either way, but like, he really respects her. And it's like, dude, you have good friends. You have, David from the Rational National. He's a good friend. Yeah, like, if I was Mike, I would just stop speaking to Anna because she's not a good person. Like, she did this for virtue signaling reasons. Yeah, she legit saw people like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk apparently just retweeting her. And she doesn't even, like, that doesn't even get to her mind. That, like, maybe these people have a point. It's like, I don't really care about all that because I think all of that's sort of just petty and who cares. But when they make this point against her, like, she just goes and bashes them. So, yeah, like, these are her friends apparently saying this. And, like, dude, you're not even gonna listen to your friends when they're telling you something like this. You're just gonna be like, oh, this is the far left now. Okay, so you're just insulting your own friends because they disagree with you on something. You're just like, they're just trying to bash me. They're just trying to jump on that wagon. No, you're not on a hate wagon. The only people criticizing you are actually, like, they're sucking you off, basically. But they're all better people than you. It's like, dude, like, nobody's hating on her. She's just, dude, it's just
Now,
so
I feel like I
pathetic.
probably should have tried to engage privately from the get-go, But I mean, on Twitter, you see something, you respond. That's kind of how it goes. We all have brain rot because of Twitter, so I responded publicly, but still I tried to be as charitable as I possibly could be. But unfortunately, I probably added to the pylon, and that's why she still felt defensive. But I wanted to make it clear that the pushback was coming from a place of love, which is why I reached out publicly and privately. And knowing that her intention was to never cause any harm, I just wanted to explain why what she did just wasn't a good take. Now, with that being said, I don't know if she actually understood what we're trying to say from yourself. I mean, there really is no better messenger than you. So here's what she said specifically in the video that I shared with her.
But in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal because that's all Republicans are. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Americans as opposed to have really, really important in a functioning democracy to have Americans see one another as fellow Americans as opposed to an identity that needs to be super combative with a different identity.
And these Republicans.
And yeah, in that clip, she's talking to Ben Shapiro, and she's talking about Democrat versus Republican. And here she is like, that's all Republicans do, that's all they have. Just zero anything. Damn. Because I don't like her. But you see that. That was her saying the exact, and why did she even bring that up? Like, like she was like, that was not a rebuttal to this. You absolutely contradicted yourself. Like, you absolutely did. And I love how she has to throw that diss of Republicans after that. But yeah, you are saying the exact opposite of what you are here. And it's just no shit, because she doesn't care about the movement. She doesn't care about all this. She's just doing all of these things for attention. Like, she cares about attention primarily. And that's why her defense of all this and Cenk Uyghur's defense of her, they're going to align in the same fucking straw man. Like, it's gonna be unbelievable. They're both gonna go with the same fucking straw man line of attack. And they're going to go with, well, this is defended because polling. Yeah, so they do not care about what is right. They only care about, what will get them more attention. Like, they literally admit this. Like, Mike, come on, wake up to this. Like,
shared that video with her privately, not to try to hypocrisy burn her, but to hopefully get her to see that what
but it is a hypocrisy burn. It absolutely is.
Was saying right there
I feel really bad for Mike, because like, this really is him having to find out. Like, I have a shitty friend right here, but like, he doesn't see it that way. And I mean, I feel like I wouldn't see it that way if I truly cared about her. Like, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. But, like, if this was my friend. But it's so clear, like, from somebody who fucking hates her, it's so clear what she's doing. And it's like, dude, I feel bad for Mike, because he deserves better friends than this.
Where we're all coming from right now. We're saying what she said back then. That was my goal of sharing that video with her, not to float an alternative term that was inclusive. Like, I wanted her to see that she made the same point that we're making. We need inclusive language, and it's not even used that frequently. So it just doesn't feel like this is the most important thing to emphasize right now during an international crusade against trans people. So we talked about it also on the left.
Dude, like, he is just so good at covering this. Like, this 33 this was uncut. He just, dude, I've already shared this. I'm gonna put this in the description. I didn't actually see all this. Like, I'm sure he made a really good reply as well. Yeah, I've already dude, you know what those 4 replies are? That's probably to me fucking tagging Ana Kasparian about it. So you know what? Steve. Communist. That's fucking amazing. Let's go. Yo. I don't know this person, but Steve, dude, that sounds pretty epic. Okay, well, I have 0 viewers again. Man, that's very sad. You know what? Let me see this. Is it responding to? That must be so old. Oh. Oh yeah, and Preston's Jewish. Yeah, I completely forget. Oh my god, I have 35 subs now. Yeah, dude, Instamil. I just started listening to that again, like, yesterday. It's amazing. Well, that sucks. Nobody was responding to me on, Ana Kasparian's thing. Yeah, I tagged them with that video. That's fucking amazing, but
leftist mafia in a way that I felt was good faith and respectable.
Yeah.
And really, that was seemingly it.
fucking
I hoped
was.
that Ana was able to tune out the
like, Anna's just such a bitch. Like, she gets defensive when, yeah, she is absolutely in the wrong. Like, she tried to pander. Like, she was just virtue signaling. She was just virtue signaling, just acting like an entitled snowflake, and it led to that. Like, when she doesn't care about actual values, and she's just trying to virtue signal for the sake of it, yeah, you're going to end up saying dumb shit when you don't care about your actual movement and what you're...
hopeful that Cenk would do the same, since he also defended Ana
Nope, they both went on the same straw man.
Kasparian there after that kerfuffle. But it seemed like nothing we said actually resonated, which is fine. Like, you can't force somebody to agree with you if they simply don't agree. But when you make the exact same argument as we're making currently, it's more frustrating to see them double down after we tried so hard to reach out in a...
Yeah, because they don't care. They're gonna cover their asses, and, dude, I gotta say, I just realized, yeah, on this, like, you'll see Cenk Uygur, legit just brag about the fact that he doesn't apologize for shit. Let me see.
You, the polling shows no one agrees with you. Your 12 buddies online. I don't care, okay?
He's just such an asshole. He's saying that to his friends. The polling doesn't agree with you. Hey, buddy, like, trans rights, gay rights, those didn't do well in the polling. Did it back in the day? So, yeah, I guess maybe you should have stopped advocating for trans rights back then.
Rule number 3.
I guess maybe you shouldn't have advocated for trans rights back then, since, well, it didn't poll well. So, I guess that makes it bad. But let me see, it was, in this video.
Is a legitimate disaster for Europe.
These people would never apologize for shit, dude. That was, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, what you're bringing up, John, it would take some self-awareness.
Yeah.
For him and the courage. Be person enough to apologize and say, I made a mistake. But he will never do that.
Well, it's...
Yeah, like, I love how, like, they're both nodding and shit, like, oh, dude, if you make a mistake, you have to apologize. The guy literally bragged about, I'm not gonna apologize. Don't care if I made a mistake. Too bad. I'm not gonna apologize.
And say, oh yeah, I'm 100%. He's 99.95% correct. Oh, I'm gonna correct him. No. So don't look. You want to say, hey, I don't agree with you. God bless. You want to say, Cenk, you shouldn't say anything back because you're being rude. Come on, brother or sister. I don't know what.
To be honest, I just don't.
This is the internet. Who cares if you
really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah.
Dude, like, you see who do, like, now she's probably, and these people are her friends. Let's be clear, she is backstabbing them. people like the Humanist Report, the Rational National, they are good people. You are wronging them. They are not wronging you. So fuck you for that. Firstly, I'm a right winger, but you're an asshole for that. These people are better than you. They are better people than you. People like the Humanist Report and the Rational National, and you're just straight out attacking them, being like, yeah, I'm never gonna have them on again, basically. Shit like this. Like, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if this turned into Dave Rubin, and the next fucking Dave Rubin. I'm leaving that. Like,
that's where where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves.
This fucking entitled bitch. If people on the left, like, maybe they just have a left-wing ideology, which you don't, and maybe if they're saying the shit you used to say, that's not because they just want a clout chase by going after you. Oh, these people, they, like, she's just such an entitled whore. And that's just getting her more attention because she gets to pander to the right wing. It's like, she's not even ideological. Like, no, you absolutely need to be called out for this. And now you're just backstabbing the whole left over having good faith criticism over you. Like, you're an idiot. And you're definitely not a good friend. I would never want to be friends with this type of Jew.
Trashing us as if they don't know who we are, as if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual.
That's why they are not that fucking indeed. It's like they are not accusing you of being transphobic. Fucking nobody is. Name drop. These people like the Humanist Report, the Rational National, who you're going after, they are not accusing you of being a fucking transphobe. You're just virtue signaling again, and now you're throwing them under the bus for even more clout. Like, you're an awful fucking person. These are your
actual political values are. So I don't, Jake, I never want to talk about them again. I never want to address them again.
She's just such an entitled, whiny
It's a waste of time. Like, there's important stuff going on in the country.
Yeah, such as you being called a woman. You being called a person who menstruates one time when you were in a clinic, except it probably didn't even happen. You're just making shit up. That is important for the country, and that's why you keep talking about how these black people are so mistreated. You talk about that way more than you talk about trans issues, but I like to see people grilling you on this. I wish they went harder on you and just straight up dropped you, because you're worth dropping. Not over you doing that, but over not only the amount of times that you do this shit, but the fact that you're responding in this way by saying, fuck you all. If you ever disagree with me on any topic, well, fuck you. I'm legit just dropping all y'all. Like, this doesn't compare to anyone. Like, she just has this personal loyalty concept because her ego is so high when she's just such a degenerate. It's like, only Trump would do this shit.
Our personal drama.
Only Trump would act so fucking entitled. And if he...
with a bunch of leftists on Twitter doesn't matter.
All right.
Okay, first of all, we all acknowledge that there are more important issues going on, which is why overemphasizing birthing person, which is a term that is rarely used, is a bad thing. Now, why imply that all of these critiques are bad faith and we're only now trying to criticize TYT to grow our audience as if we're comparable to Dave Rubin and Jimmy Dore?
Yeah, and these people, like the Humanist Report, they only brought that up, they only addressed that really recently. Like, they didn't go on to their show and have some mental breakdowns and milk the fuck out of it and make multiple videos. They didn't do that. And the Rational National even said at the beginning of his video, dude, like, I don't even think this is important enough to be worth covering. But, well, since I'm going on the leftist mafia, and like, well, also this sort of a collaboration, and I know this is gonna be brought up. Like, I sort of have to make a video so y'all know where I'm coming from. Like, these people don't even want to be fucking making videos on you. But like, you put yourself in this situation, Anna. Like, you absolutely put yourself in this situation. Maybe you start being ideological instead of just being a whiny pandering bitch because that gets views. Maybe you stop focusing on polling, because if you just go with every issue, if this polls well, polls can be contradictory. Like, an issue can poll well, and a contradictory issue, I don't know, let's go with, what people in favor of the Second Amendment, and they're also against school shootings. Like, people, especially over here, prefer to have the US gun laws instead of Canada's gun laws, for example, which even that would be, well, guess what? That's because they don't really understand that Canada's gun laws would just be safer, like, objectively in every way. They think, oh well, we're just all gonna have our guns confiscated, and then this is gonna be a fascist state. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. But why don't you go and advocate for that, for example? That was a horrible example. I just woke up. I'm supposed to be sober right now. I feel fucking high because I smoked so much weed yesterday. I mean, speaks for fucking itself. I wrote all of fucking this shit and replied to my own shit. Rational National. Yeah, I love Rational National. These people are great, by the way. I disagree with them on a lot of things because, I mean, obviously I'm right wing. I'm a, like, Tucker Carlson fan, but, I mean, you have to admit, Anna got absolutely fucking dunked on.
Like, I don't think that she's trying to imply that we're bad like them.
And she dunked on herself. Yes, she is implying that. Like, I'm sorry, and I feel bad because, like, this guy is such a nice and sweet guy. Like, he is really caring. He really cares about his friends. Like, he is going to stick by his friends. Ana Kasparian, like, she's not with you, dude, but, like, he's going to stick by her. But, like, this is what she's saying. She legit said, I'm done with these people. They're attention whore, clout chasers. When she is that. She's projecting that shit onto y'all. And I don't even think she's doing it on purpose because she's just so used to being that way that I don't even think she realizes she's that way. Because she's just that much of a snowflake.
But, like, we're not talking about random Twitter leftists online who are trying to cancel you. You're talking about your friends, Emma Vigeland, David Dole, Lance, myself, Ole. If all of us who you know are telling you one thing, and then you have all of the right suddenly cheering you on and yas queening you and retweeting you and telling you to keep up the good fight, maybe for a second just take that as evidence.
Matt Walsh, Jesus Christ. Matt Walsh is, like, as extreme right as you could go. Like, Matt Walsh wants to eradicate trans people. He wants the homeless to be beaten to death or executed. Like, he said, execute the homeless. Like, Matt Walsh is as far right as you go. And it's like, I'm sorry, like, this is just such a good point against Anna. Like, yeah, clearly these people do not hold Anna's ideology. What do you think that is? I mean, and I do support Ben Shapiro on a lot of issues. He's right, like capitalism, absolutely. But like, I don't know his stance exactly, but I definitely agree with his moral position on capitalism. But, like, let's be real. These people are supporting her on this because they, like, one, because it sort of makes sense, but they think this is way more common than it actually is. Like, they actually think it's a lot more common than it is, which it isn't. But, like, these people, Candace Owens is just a virtue signaler, just like her, but she's right-wing. Yeah, she's pretty much the Candace Owens of the left, to be honest, and it is, but Yeah, Ben Shapiro, he probably thinks, oh yeah, Anna is a woman, like, this happens to her a lot, probably. It doesn't happen. Carrie Lake. Holy shit, Carrie Lake. Didn't she almost win, like, a governor's race? Jesus Christ. And there's Charlie Kirk as well, I heard. Yeah, of all these people supporting you on this, it's like, I am somebody who would, think, like, I have right-wing positions, I have left-wing positions, like, I'm mostly right-wing, like, for the most part, I support, like, the fundamental things of the right wing. I'm a capitalist, I'm in favor of free speech, and I'm against racism. Like, that's enough for me to be really far from the left, right? Yeah, I'm pretty damn right-wing just for that, but, I mean, like, dude, Ana Kasparian by no means is right-wing. Yeah, when all of these people are supporting you in what you said, and all your friends are telling you, that's because you're not really supposed to agree with what you just said here. Like, they keep forgetting that she said that to virtue signal, basically. She didn't say that to make some ideological point. She didn't, like, what she was saying was not referring to the trans movement in any way. She was just demonstrating herself being an entitled bitch online. But, I mean, yeah, when all of these people, when there's this mountain of evidence that your friends are right and you're wrong, it's like, yeah,
that you
I'm
are the one
sorry.
being
Yeah, she is the one being unreasonable.
unreasonable, and you are on the wrong side of this issue. And again, you don't have to agree with us here, but at least try to hear us out without getting overly defensive. But it's clear that they've tuned out the good faith criticism, and at this point, it seems like they're not even trying to understand where we're coming from.
Yeah,
and that's
she's just a whiny bitch. Like, that's why she's being overly defensive. It's not because she feels backstabbed or something. No, and even if she did, it's like, you're an asshole. Like, you backstabbed the movement by just deciding, well, I'm gonna use my huge platform, instead of talking about issues that actually matter, I'm just gonna virtue signal, and I'm just gonna whine like a snowflake bitch. Because that's what gets attention. It's like, this isn't the first time she's done this. Just look at any interview she's had on Ben Shapiro, who debated Politicon. It's like, dude, at first when I watched that debate, I thought they were friends. Like, I didn't recognize her. Like, dude,
it's really
like, she will pretend to be friends with these, but, like, I'm sure if Ben Shapiro, I don't know, for some reason, like, she decided to interview and she brought on Matt Walsh, Anna would be like, oh, great, that's my other pal, yeah, I'm so glad to have the both of you on. Just so we're clear, I don't agree with you on a lot of topics, but I think y'all are both just, really reasonable, really great people. And then she would bash them. It's like, dude, Ana Kasparian does that to all her friends. She does that to Ben Shapiro, who, let's be real, Ben Shapiro is her friend now. Like, they are pretty much friends. She does that to Ben Shapiro, pretending to respect him and care about him and like him. And then she just bashes him relentlessly. Shows that she has no respect for him whatsoever. She's doing this to you, just like she did this to Ben Shapiro. It's like, she's not worth fuck all anything.
Frustrating,
like,
because again, we can disagree on this. However, the reason why so many of us try to be kind is because when you are in this position where you kind of feel like the world's against you and you have to defend yourself when you shouldn't have to because you have a record that supposedly speaks for itself, you know,
yeah, dude, I know, I sort of stopped watching Tucker Carlson as much these days. I don't know, maybe because it's sort of getting boring, but like, I watched him for like over a year for sure, like way over a year. It's like, at this point, it sort of feels like he's circle jerking in the same, not circle jerking, but like sort of circling in the same arguments. Like, he keeps making the same points, and it's like, no, it's sort of all the same thing. It's like, we get it, that's how you feel on the trans issue, like, whatever. I completely disagree with you, but it's like, I don't know, he just goes on from topic to topic, and it's sort of all the same stuff. Like, he sort of just has no opinion, and he's just repeating it, so... I do wonder what this is. Like, I think he should go back to more news. Like, he should get away from the trans discussion. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, you're really not on the right side of that. Like, you just don't understand how, like, this whole thing with the trans movement, you don't really get it. I wish Tucker just, sort of moved away from that.
It leads to you hardening your stance and falling down this rabbit hole even further, and that can subconsciously alter your mentality, which is what I didn't want to happen. But I feel like it kind of did happen, and they kind of...
I don't think so. I think it was gonna happen, fucking the whole time. Like, no matter what you did, no matter how kindly you responded, which, yeah, he was, very respectful. Yeah, it's like, she was gonna go after you because she's not a good friend. She's not someone who will stick with her friends. She is not somebody who can lower her ego to recognize that she's wrong fucking ever, even though she will criticize others for that same thing. And it's like, she'll just go back, oh, well, it pulls well, so I don't care.
They kind of, like, went further down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, and it's like, I think, yeah, he might just repeat himself at this point. Let's just,
Now, Gaines was, in fact, accosted by trans rights activists after giving her speech. And I want to be clear, there were trans rights activists or people who disagreed with her in the room as she was doing her talk, and they were incredibly respectful. Even though they engaged in protest as well, I think they did it right. But what you're about to see is what I think is incredibly counterproductive.
And I think Mike made a great
for anyone
point
who
about
actually
this
gives
too.
a damn about transgender rights in this country. Let's watch.
Yeah, and she's sort of taking the Tucker Carlson approach to this, which Tucker at least is consistent. Like, he will bash January 6th, as well as the Black Lives Matter riots, as well as, like, anything that is violence. Like, he will bash all of that. Then Ana Kasparian will have a problem with that. But that's really what she's preaching here. She's preaching violence is bad always.
Are you ready to take your passion for dance to the next level? Have some fun?
And I think the humanist report...
Now, it's worth noting that there were trans rights activists in the room as she was giving her talk. And I want to show you what I think a productive protest looks like. Let's watch.
You go, they honor you, they name their Woman of the Year. And so I went to this convention. It was in January, it was in San Antonio. And so I go to the convention, obviously not in support because the award was immediately meaningless.
So they're holding up signs the whole time showing their...
Yeah, so let's go on to the humanist report's response of that. And I think he made a perfect response.
Support for the transgender community. There was also a Q&A portion where there was disagreement. They exchanged their comments, their disagreement with one another. I think that's productive. But what happened outside of that room? What happened for the 3 hours?
Yeah, so she's just taking the Tucker Carlson approach. Violence is bad always, but
was following her talk, not productive. I don't understand how anyone would think that this is going to win over hearts and minds in any way.
That protest got out of hand the minute it felt that it became physically unsafe, right? Do not lose the moral high ground. You had everything right until then, please.
The thing that's frustrating about these situations is that these exchanges, if it's done appropriately without devolving into violence or intimidation, it could be productive. It could be persuasive. That's the way that you actually make progress. And I think the biggest mistake that trans rights activists make is just assuming that everyone already knows everything they need to know about transgender people and how they need to have their rights protected. But you gotta understand that for a lot of Americans, these are all new concepts.
I think that is a fair point, but...
And so people, it takes time for them to learn these new things, to be accepting of new things. And I think this knee-jerk reaction of, oh, you're just a transphobe, you're a terrible person, I'm exhausted, it is not my job to educate you. Okay, well, understand that if that's your mindset, then you're never gonna win. You're just not. And if you think that you're gonna win by intimidating and bullying people, that's also not gonna work. That actually turns a lot of people off.
Yeah, if you're an activist or you're in this sphere in any way, and you say, well, it's not my job to educate you. Well, no, okay, it's not. But then you gotta go home.
So what I hoped would not happen has seemingly happened. It feels like all this drama is kind of getting to them and it's affecting them in a subconscious way. It feels like in that clip right there, they were kind of airing their own grievances against trans activists because they've seen now how unreasonable certain people can be with regard to this issue. So maybe they can kind of put themselves in Riley's shoes. Like, that's kind of what it feels. And it further solidifies my belief that they're not listening, like they're talking past us. And maybe they feel as if we're talking past them. I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, they are definitely not understanding where we're coming from. And that clip rubbed me the wrong way because it kind of feels like they were speaking out of turn. I mean, two cis people don't get to tone police trans activists who are facing the threat of genocide. You don't get to tell them that the only appropriate form of protest is when you're sitting quietly in a room with a trans flag when a bigot who's going on a nationwide tour advocating against your rights is right there. I mean, what do you think Stonewall was? Stonewall was a fucking riot. Do you think that queer people got to where we are today because we were polite and respectful? And we had to ask permission from straight people to protest?
Yep. So that is an adequate response. TYT, they're just fake fucking populists because they really don't care about morals. They don't care about any of that. And the people with whom these ideas are popular with, they are good faith with it. This shit of oh, well, you should on. That's why I'm against this concept of, oh, well, you can only peacefully protest. If people are taking your fucking rights away, why should you sit back and take that? It's like, you could call me a Thorian for. No, we have, that's actually the reason why we have the Second Amendment. And why most people are in favor of the Second Amendment. Like, if the government turns fascist, we get to topple them. Do you think that would be peaceful? By definition, no. So are you against the Second Amendment so that we cannot topple the government if it becomes fascist? It's like, I don't get this shit. Just, oh, well, whatever they do to you, remember, you have to be peaceful and you have to just, lay back and just be nice. No. Sometimes you can't just be nice. Because if people go too far, if you don't have this thing of, well, if people throwing too hard, you have to fight back. Again, this should happen. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shit like that. I could give examples in my personal life where people have kept fucking bashing me. They saw that I wouldn't do shit about it, that I would just sort of, sit there and just take it. And, my mother, she would tend to have a lot of mental breakdown. That is really back in the day. I don't know if I should be bringing this up, but, she used to, stress from work, all of that. And, every so often, she just have a mental breakdown. And just start being an absolute, an asshole. She'd start just yelling about how I'm ruining her life, threatening to take shit away from me, threatening to hit me, sometimes hitting me, over the dumbest shit. She would be a really nice person most of the time, but every so often, I don't know, I forgot to put the orange juice back in the fridge before going and brushing my teeth. Legit full-fledged mental breakdown, starts wailing and screaming and shit. Now that happened a long time ago, talking years ago, probably more than 6-7 years. This was a long time ago, but at some point, she was mad. I think that it was something like that, I'd accidentally put, yeah, I think it was one of those things. I'd forgotten to put the orange juice back in the fridge or some shit like that. And my mother actually, I was in the car and I was telling her, look, I am scared of being in the car with you right now. You're being really aggressive. And her response to that was just to punch me in the nose and make me bleed. Well, afterwards, I hit her back and I was like, you don't fucking touch me that way. You don't. I'm done with that. And eventually she stopped. Whenever she realized, no, if I'm going to hit him, he's going to hit me back. I cannot do that. I can't keep having these breakdowns. Whenever I started, stepping up for myself and saying, no, you cannot just hit me and shit. Eventually she stopped doing it. It's Same thing here. If people are going to legit like try like with Roe v. Wade, some people were going to die over that, not getting to have an abortion. This was going to ruin some people's lives. I'm sure some parents that like they're gonna have to commit suicide because, oh well, I have a kid, I'm too stupid to realize that I'm too stupid to have remembered how babies are born, so I decided to have a kid, but I had no idea that a kid was going to come out of it. So well, I'm in this position where I'm just stupid, and on top of that, I'm going to have a child when I'm like not only am I stupid and therefore unable to like take care of a child, but I mean I'm sort of going to have to. Like these people might have to commit suicide after that because of Roe v. Wade being over. Of course, these people shouldn't be fucking peaceful. Why? No. You retort with like equal fucking strength. You have to, because otherwise people just keep stepping on your shoes. It's just
or what was the appropriate form of protest? Do you think that we waited for public opinion polls to change before we asked for civil rights? Of course we didn't do
that. No. And that is his point. He is on point here. You don't give a shit if this polls well. You don't give a shit if the right opinion polls well. You have the right opinion. Otherwise, you're not really worth talking to. You're just not worth. Not, at least not on these issues. If you have an opinion, not because it's the right opinion or you're genuine, but because, well, a lot of people hold it, so this is popular, well, get the fuck out. You shouldn't be talking about these issues.
That we demanded equality even though everyone fucking hated us. And so that coverage right there, to me, it came off as, well, you know, maybe the
that is swag.
Trans activists are unreasonable here because I've seen it firsthand. And I just have to point out that this is speculation, right? I don't know why they said the thing that they said there. It's not the most problematic thing ever, but it just seems as if...
Yeah, Anna said that because she's a virtue signaling snowflake, but for that, I haven't seen the leftist mafia yet, so... Yeah, where we at? So I'm going to look at this since I didn't really see it yet.
I'm just going to say before anyone launches into anything, I have a video up. I did it. Watch it. You can watch it later or tomorrow, whatever. But my opinions are in there. If this chat gets out of hand, that's not on me. So anybody that may be offended, it's not on me. This is a democratized podcast.
Smart of David to do that, as we all know.
Oh yeah, dude. He sort of said that like at the beginning though in here, like, yeah, there's a democratized or whatever the word is, democratic platform. Like, yeah, he did not want to cover this issue. By the way, like if you saw that thing, I only watched up to there, but yeah, he didn't want to cover it. Okay, I got 5 views total. That's more than I expected.
He has the problematic fan base. He usually causes problems. He's coming out ahead. He's coming out ahead.
I also want to say, I posted a video.
They're all very positive, I gotta say. All the comments on my video are very positive. People that,
I looked at them too. It was nice.
Come from my perspective, and
the outpouring of love has been most wholesome. I hope everyone knows that. By the way, I've been entirely and completely touched by every single person who's been like, "What
I don't even know who that guy is."
That's nice. That's nice.
I want to let the record reflect.
I don't know
think
any
it's
of
us
these
who's gonna get
people.
out of hand
I've
because
seen this person,
we. I want to say from the beginning of time, we spent an hour waterboarding each other and the fans with a whole.
By the way, I thought I'd also get to like where they both went on to the same fucking straw man. Let's see.
This is why we're trying to reach out, like up there, because on the show, who again was nothing but kind.
He's on here all the time on the power panel, right? And he comes out and does this like video about how he's so correct and oh yeah, the young Turks, correct? No, Lance, you're not goddamn correct. Nobody.
Where did I yeah, like, dude, I probably yeah, I didn't give a timestamp, but like they really would. They really were sticking to the same fucking strawman in this.
elected you. The polling shows no one agrees with you. Your 12 buddies online. I don't care, okay? And say, oh yeah, I'm 100%. He's 99.
Talking to his friends.
9.95% correct. Oh, I'm gonna correct him. No. So don't look. You want to say, hey, I don't agree with you. God bless. You want to say, Cenk, you.
That's all they
shouldn't say anything bad.
And by the way, you disagree with yourself. This is what. You disagree with Anna because that is what she said. That is what she fucking said, and she didn't even denounce her old view. But she said this
because you're being rude. Come on, brother or sister. I don't know.
To be honest, I just don't really care.
This isn't
to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again.
Like, this is just such a straw man. I love how she's always for like, oh well, the right, like she's trying to be more centrist just to appeal
at this point.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are, as if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values.
Yeah, they do, and that's why they're not attacking that. So yeah, they're both sort of sticking to the same straw man. I recommend watching this video. It's a great video. But yeah, the Anna's a more
whole session of we like her, we swear this isn't a deep critique, da 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 da. I mean, it all that shit.
Right,
okay?
right. And as a lot of people, right, as a lot of people on Twitter pointed out, when Ole was getting all the shit, it was actually I who started.
Yeah. You got a pass. You got the pass. Holy shit! You did not get called out at all. Not by name. Not anything.
But you know what I think is important? You know what I think is an important note in that, just to speak to the level of engineered foolishness and theatrics
I can possibly be. So,
okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm loud. I will.
No.
Let the
I guess maybe we should.
Our guest is here. Should I?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean,
bring our
her
guest
icon's
on.
here. I'm not sure if she's on.
Before we get into this, let's go ahead and transparently make something really clear here, because I know we're going to talk about a lot of topics. We love tangents. It's kind of our thing. Let's just make it clear what this is really about, right? There was a bad tweet that was said, and someone who refused to take accountability for it. And like I said in our little kind of group chat earlier, I think what's happening now is all a gigantic deflection to take away and take the heat off of Anna, because she can't fucking take it.
Yeah, it's more than more than that.
It's
more.
I mean, I guess they're probably gonna make the same points. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna end this live stream and I'm gonna go pop some Adderall. Yeah, I'm gonna go pop my Addies real quick and start getting productive with my day, cause dude, am I just getting one fucking view right now? Is this really happening? Like, at the end of the fucking stream? Okay, well, I think I covered all of this. There's really no point in continuing, so, I mean, sucks I'm just getting one viewer right now, but hopefully y'all have enjoyed this live stream, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.